Hey friends, welcome back. I can't believe I'm about to tell y'all this story, but I'm gonna just tell y'all about it anyway because hello, I want to talk about it. And I feel like, again, I don't think I'm the only person that this has ever happened to in life. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. When I was in college, well, they probably don't do it no more, but at the time that I was like going to college, baby, I was following people from colleges that I didn't even go to, like graduating class of, because I was supposed to graduate in 2018, so it was like the class of 2018, follow train, and just some like little stuff like that. So I ended up, you know, like joining one of those, and it was innocent, it was harmless. It's just a bunch of people that are leaving high school and going to college that's following each other. So whatever. So I started following like buku people. I was following people that was going to Tulane, UL, Louisiana Tech, LSU, people that went to Southern, people that was going to Dillard. Like literally, you name a school in Louisiana, and I had at least 3 people I was following that went to that school. Like that was the type of vibe everybody was on. It was it was real cool. It was real chill. Nobody was, you know, like doing the most of nothing. Everybody was just like getting to know each other in the classes. Like y'all know how that type of stuff work. I don't have to explain. I ended up meeting some people. Like several people. Like I was going on damn near a college tour. I was in Lafayette hanging out with people I met in Lafayette. I was on LSU campus. Like I went there. I went to Southern, but that was cool. I was on LSU campus more than I was at Southern, and I went to Southern. Don't that sound crazy? But that's just the type of, like, that's just how it was. So everything was cool. I met some really cool people during that time. Like nothing was wrong. Like everybody was cool. Even though I went to Southern, I had like a lot, and I mean a lot. Like I had a lot of friends that went to LSU. So that was really where I spent most of my time. And because like I was just familiar with the area, because I went to high school like literally walking distance from the campus. You know, for other reasons I ended up not going there, but that was still like my school of choice. So baby, any chance I got to be on that campus, I was over there. I'm not gonna say I met them through like the people I went to high school with. They ended up going to LSU. We just like stayed in touch and everything, and I would like come on campus, hang out with them, hang out with their friends, get to know their friends, and then me and the friends would start hanging out. Y'all know how that type of stuff goes. I cannot open this and it's making my stomach hurt. I'm hanging out with like the people I went to high school with. I had met like some of their friends and became friends with their friends. Y'all know how that type of stuff goes. So while I was like making friends with everybody, they had like one person in the group that I thought was just so fine. Like he was so fine. Like he was so fine. Like he was like, I'll drink his bath water fine. That's how fine he was. And the crazy part is, like, I have a type, and he wasn't my type, but he was so fine. But as fine as he was, it was something about him that was very familiar. My first time meeting him, we were at like I think we were having like a kickback in somebody's dorm, and just like drinking, smoking, you know, the normal type of stuff that college people be doing. So that's the type of time we was on. So everybody, you know, hanging out. They just pulled up to the party. We starting to get lit. We got a little music playing, got a little session going, you know, everything like that. Although he looked familiar, I still got like introduced to him and everything. And they introduced him by his nickname. We'll call him Jody. They introduced him as Jody, which Jody is not his real name. Like the nickname that he had was not even close to his real name, which is why it was such a struggle for me to figure out who he was, because he wasn't introduced to me by his real name. It was by his nickname. Like, as soon as I saw him and they introduced me to him, I was like, you look so familiar, like I know you from somewhere. And he was like, oh, you probably see me in your dreams, like, you know, stuff like that. And baby, I like stuff like that. I like when people like flirt back with me and say something real slick. Like, I really live for that type of stuff. If you know you went to LSU around this time, don't be trying to guess to see who it is. Okay? Everybody hanging out, and you know, he was single. Like, he was single. And it was like, I was under the impression that he was like dating one of the people that was at the party, because like they were just, I don't know how to describe it, like they were always like standing by each other, like talking, just like a personal one-on-one conversation and stuff in the middle of like a kickback. So I'm thinking that like they dating or something, but by the end of the night, I ended up finding out that they wasn't. So I was peeping, like I was watching him all night. So once I found out that, you know, they wasn't together, I think she had like called him like brother or something like that. And it was like, oh, like throughout the night, I ended up putting 2 and 2 together, and I was like, okay, they not dating, cool. So I was like the type of person that I am, I'm not gonna tell somebody that I have a crush on somebody, because like if I like you, I'm gonna go with the move on you myself, because I don't need like I don't need a wingman. Like if I really like somebody, I'm gonna let it be known on my own, because I really don't like people in my business either. And because sometimes, you know how you tell somebody like, oh, I like so and so, and they'll be like, oh, you want me to set y'all up? And you be like, yeah, that's cool. And then like shit just go completely left. Like they either take too long to set y'all up, or they wanted them for themselves and they don't set you up at all. And then like 2 weeks later, they dating. So I wouldn't try to like, no, I guess because I watch too much TV and I've seen it happen. But for me, and because I was an adult at the time, I was in my early 20s. So like I'm old enough to, I'm not in high school no more. Like I'm old enough to the point where like I can talk to people on my own. You know what I'm saying? Everybody start like, you know, getting a little faded, getting a little tipsy. Everything is cool. And like, it's not like we were like talking all night, but like we would just like casually be, you know how like everybody's talking about a topic, and like he would say something, I would reply to it. And you know, just that type of just regular conversation having in a group of people. It was a intellectual conversation. It was a meaningful conversation, let me say that. So we were talking about something that was like on a personal level, but also like on an intellectual level, so that you can kind of understand somebody's mindset and stuff like that. So I think we were talking about like, it was something like politics, religion, or something like that. Something that, you know, you can easily be turned off by depending on their opinion of it. So as we're like talking about the topic, I started to realize that like he's very smart. Like he's extremely smart. And some of the things that he was saying, like he wasn't combative. And even though it was an educated debate, so he wasn't like trying to put anybody down. He was willing to, you know, listen to it from the other person's perspective. And it was so refreshing, because you know, most men, if they say something and you say something back to them, which is like you basically disagreeing with them, most men will be like, this is a man's conversation, or try to like make you feel inferior to their opinions because you're a woman, like stuff like that. But he was not like that. And that was like, it made me more attracted to him, even though I had like just met him. But it made me more attracted to him, because it's like, wow, you have like such a different mindset from other people, and it's really refreshing. Like I can say something to you and you not, you know, jumping down my throat or trying to force your opinion on me. Like it was something that we were talking about, and like the whole group was talking about it. So it was like the girls had an opinion and then the boys had an opinion. So we're all like debating our opinions and stuff. And it's not like a loud, everybody finna start fighting type of thing. It was like well, think about it from this perspective, and you know, shit like that. So we're all just like talking, still entertaining the conversation. Everything is still going well. Nobody's getting into it. Everything is just going really, really smooth. So towards the end of the night, everybody, you know, we getting ready to go home and go our separate ways and all that stuff. And so, you know, everything is cool. So I get home and I think somebody had like took pictures or something, or they tagged me or something like oh, I have fun with everybody tonight, thank you guys for coming, that type of stuff. And then they tagged, you know, like everybody that showed up to the event. So not too long after that, because I didn't check my phone till I got home, so like I saw the like the tweet that was saying, you know, thank you guys for showing up to the little function, whatever, and then they tagged everybody that showed up. And like scrolling up through the notifications and everything, I saw that I had a new follower. Spoiler alert, it was him. I gave it a little minute because I didn't want to seem thirsty, so I gave it a minute, and then I ended up following him back. He's hilarious. So like, I wasn't trying to be one of them LaMarcus, you so funny, like one of them type of people, you know what I'm saying? Because that can be a lot of men just be like, you doing too much when you do stuff like that. So that's like, I wasn't trying to do that. I'm the type of person, I rarely ever use like the actual laughing emoji. I'm very much like a crying emoji type of person. So I don't care, like if something is funny, I'll like LMAO in all caps with like 6 O's. If something is like really fun, like if I don't laugh, it's just LMAO with a whole bunch of O's. If I actually like kind of laugh, like audibly laugh, you know, LMFAO all caps with like 17 O's. So whenever he would say something, I would put like the laughing emojis. And I don't know if this man like went through my tweets or something like that and noticed that like whenever I find something that's like real funny, that I would put like the crying laughing emojis, and then whenever he would say something, I would just put like the regular laughing emojis. So like he ended up DMing me, and he was like if you didn't think this was funny, you didn't have to laugh, LOL. And I didn't know if he was being serious or not, so I was like, what you mean? And he was like, you put crying emojis on everything else, but anytime I say a joke, you just put the little laughing emoji. And he was like, I'm not that funny to you? So then I'm like, not you went through and was like noticing a pattern with all of my tweets and stuff. So now I'm like, he paying attention to me. I like that. So I was like, no, it was like, I'm, you know, trying to like play it cool. So I'm like, no, I thought it was funny, but you know, I ain't want to give you too much. Like, I don't want you to be feeling yourself like you just the funniest person ever, because like, you funny, but you not that funny. Like, he was like, oh, all right, bet, LOL. So we ended up like talking a little bit more like throughout that and stuff, and you know, everything was cool. And then I think I went to sleep or something like that. So like, that was typically like how most of our conversations went. Like, it was just strictly in the DMs. We would like talk on the timeline. It wasn't just like a strictly DM conversation. So like, we would like laugh at stuff on the timeline, or like he would like quote my tweet, I would quote his tweet, like stuff like that. Just, you know, casual stuff. I'm pretty sure that like he could tell that I was like kind of feeling him a little bit, because like if I went to sleep, I would like I'm not a good morning texter. Like, if you text me good morning, I'm not responding. I don't know why, but it's just like, especially if we were actually having a conversation about something, like if we talking about something and like one of us falls asleep, I expect the next day for the conversation to like pick back up where we left off. You know, like if I respond to the last text that you sent before I went to sleep and I'm continuing the conversation, and then you just say good morning and you don't even follow up to what I said. So it's like, I can't stand it. But that wasn't the case. Throughout us talking, I ended up finding out like little things about him, because again, I told y'all he looked familiar, so I was trying to figure out where I knew this man from. So I'm asking him, like, because we were from the same city, like he wasn't an out-of-towner. So because he was from the same city as me, I'm really trying to figure out, like, bro, where do I know you from? Like, it was to the point where it was almost bothering me. Like, if I didn't find out where I knew him from, I was gonna lose my mind. It was like that serious, because when something is on my mind like that, it bothers me till I know the answer. But in addition to me getting to know him, I'm also trying to figure out where the hell I know him from. So I'm asking him, like, oh, you know, what high school did you go to? Like, I really wanted to know. I'm asking this man what high school he went to, what places he used to work at, like, just like little stuff like that. Just trying to figure out where the hell I know him from. It got to the point where it was like I felt like a detective, and I'm like, let me stop asking this man all these like impersonal questions like this, because like it's gonna start coming off as weird, and I don't want him to think that like I'm asking him these questions to figure out where I know him from, and I'm not interested in like him as a person, because that, if I would have kept asking the questions, that's how it was gonna come off. So, and I didn't want it to seem like I was snooping on him for like somebody else, and it have like that little awkward vibe or whatever. Like, I was just trying to figure out where I knew him from, and I was trying to figure out like the best way to do it, and it was just becoming impossible. So eventually I just gave up. And and you know how like whenever you looking for something and you can't find it, but then you stop looking for it, you end up finding it. So I was like, okay, maybe if I stop asking, the answer will reveal itself. So I gave up. I was like, I'm not gonna worry about it no more. So this is like a couple of months of us like getting to know each other. I'm not gonna say it wasn't like, you know, we talking to each other for like 5-6 months, but then in the meantime, like we still like seeing each other at like, you know, friendly events and parties and going out and stuff like that. So we definitely were still like seeing each other in public settings. So it wasn't like I saw him at the party and then we just never saw each other again. Like, we would just hang out on the weekends, go to like dorm room parties together. Well, not together, but like a group of people would go to like a party somebody was throwing in their apartment, or like in their dorm, like a little kickback, or you know, stuff like that, hanging out at the daiquiri shop. Like, that's the type of stuff that we will all be doing. So I would still like see him, but it was like it wasn't intentional, but it was like we don't want everybody to know that like we talk to each other outside of this, because we would just be like josing on the timeline and everything. But we didn't want everybody to like start doing that, ooh, y'all talk to each other, you know, all that type of stuff. Like, keeping it low key. And because we still in the getting to know each other process, like we just chilling. We ended up exchanging numbers too, so we would like kind of talk on the phone at night and stuff, just like a little bit, like just like FaceTiming, or like playing iMessage games. Like, that's when iMessage games was like the shit. So we would just be, you know, talking, playing our little iMessage games, playing iMessage games while we on FaceTime, talking about TV shows that we watching, you know, stuff like that. Like, it was real friendly though. It wasn't like we were going towards dating or anything like that. We was just cool. Like, it was just refreshing to meet somebody like that. So eventually I forgot about the whole like where I knew him from, and I just chalked it up to I saw him somewhere with some people, and that's how I knew him. Like, that was the best thing that I could come up with. Yeah, it was like towards the end of the semester. So we all went out to eat for like one of my friend's birthday. We didn't have like a seating arrangement or whatever, but like, you know how when you get to a place and you want to sit by somebody specific, you'll like save a seat for them and then let them know like so and so sitting right here, you know, like stuff like that. I didn't know if he did it on purpose or not, but when we were all like, when I walked into the party and everything, they had like a seat The only, like literally the only seat that was available was next to him. So again, I don't know if he did it like that on purpose. Girl, I don't know. But what I do know is there was a seat for me. I went and sat over there. Yes, I did. I went and sat over there by my boo. We all sitting there, you know, having our little funny conversations and everything. And I think he like leaned over to get something from somebody or something like that. And like when he leaned over, I smelled him. Y'all, he smells so good. And it's like, it was like at this point, I want you bad. So now I'm like, wow, this man, like, and this is like, it was a dinner party, like it was a birthday dinner party. So we not dressed in just like regular going to a kickback clothes. Like everybody is pretty much dressed up for the most part. Like we're at an actually nice restaurant. Everybody is dressed up. It's like, that's the type of vibe it's given. So when I saw him dressed up and he was just smelling good and everything, I was like, this is the man of my dreams. I want him. And honestly, that's when everything got bad. Me and him, we actually like texting at the table. And I ended up texting him like after he leaned over and I saw how he was smelling. I texted him and I was like, OMG, you smell so good. And I put like the little, the like emoji, like the the one that's like deep sigh or whatever, like y'all know what I'm talking about. So I put that emoji after I put like you smell so good. So then he was like, LOL, thank you, you smell good too. And then he put like the little like smirk emoji. So like we both at the table like grinning down, like it's so bad. And honestly, if anybody was paying attention, they kind of would have put 2 and 2 together and they would have definitely got 4, because it was to the point where like we didn't even care about being low key no more. Like we literally sit next to each other. He would do like little things where like he would put his hand like behind my chair or like kind of lean over in my direction a little bit. But it was like laid back. It was like he'll sit back, he'll like put his arm around my chair and like kind of lean over to the side a little bit. But you know, again, I'm not thinking nothing of it. It's like, okay, he's just leaning up on me. He want me to smell him, all that type of stuff. So in my mind, you know, when men smell good and when men look good and when men have good mindsets and stuff, you know what you be wanting to do with them. You be wanting to, you know, the beginning of Rocket by Beyonce. Now, mind you, the whole time all this is going on, I haven't told any of my friends that like I liked him, that we were like talking on the level we was talking on. And I'm not sure if he was doing the same on his end, but like I was just playing it cool. Like I was minding my business. I was just keeping it between us because again, we still getting to know each other. So I'm not finna go out of my way to like be like, girl, me and Jody talk. Like, ooh, Jody do this and Jody do that. Like, I ain't want to do all that because, you know, we too old for that. Like, that's kind of childish. I asked him, like, what his plans was. I wasn't trying to, like, hang out with him or nothing. I just asked him, like, you know, what's your plans for the holidays and everything. And he was like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with my family. And then me and my baby mama gonna meet up and I'm gonna hang out with my son. I could have cried. I was like, you the man of my dreams and you got a child? This is not what the man of my dreams has. The man of my dreams don't have kids. But I mean, the man of my dreams also has like $100 million and he didn't have that either. So I was a little taken aback about him having a son. But like, again, he was such a good person. It's like I was willing to look past that. Honestly, I should have just stopped after that because it gets fucking worse. This was after the son thing. Like he said the thing about his son and then we just kind of like never talked about it again. I didn't ask any questions because like, again, it's really not my place to be asking about your, you know, child and stuff. If you wanted to tell me, you would have told me. We ended up deciding that we were gonna actually hang out like without the friends and everything like that. And I was like, okay, cool, that sounds good. So he was like, yeah, we're gonna go on a date. And he was like, you know, dress up, wear something nice. I'm gonna wear something nice, and I'm gonna let you know like where to meet me. We make the plans for like that Friday night. We end up going to the restaurant together, and again, he looked good, he smelled good, and everything is just like magical. Now in my mind, I'm trying to, yeah, later on that night. It's already in my mind. I'm like, I've been talking to this man for like 3-4 months. We just been hanging out, like as friends. We getting ready to take it to the next step. I want him. I want that. Like, I'm hyping myself up. I'm like, yeah, girl, tonight is the night. And y'all, when I tell you, I did the preparations and everything, like toes freshly done, nails freshly done, lotion on, legs shaved, everything shaved, like everything was on point, because I knew. I was like, yeah, this the night. I'm ready. It's up with me. I met him up at the restaurant, and I was on time. That's very rare, but I was on time. I showed up on time, and we was waiting on the I think they had like a little wait, even though he made reservations. So he ended up going inside while I was on the way to like put his name on like the waiting list and everything. So we ended up finally getting inside. Like, he had the little like thingy that kind of it buzzed and it go off whenever your table ready. So he had that in his hand, and when it buzzed and everything, we ended up going inside. So the lady asked him what his name was, and I'm thinking that he finna say Jody and use like that name. Y'all, he did not say Jody. He said his real name. And that is when I realized where I knew him from. Y'all, I'm finna cry because this is how I felt when this shit happened. I knew what his last name was, which is the crazy part. I just didn't know what the hell his first name was. But that's because like the way his nickname was like, they would call him like Jody and his last name. So for example, if his last name was Smith, it was like they would call him Jody Smith. Like, that's what, like, they would call him that name. I found out what his first name, his real first name was. Why he my cousin? Why is he? He's my third cousin on my dad's side. Y'all, this man was my cousin. And I know some of y'all nasty and y'all like, well, he your third cousin, so like, what's the problem? It don't matter. He's still my cousin. No, he's still my cousin. The man of my dreams is my damn cousin. I'm stupid. It's my fault. I'm stupid. Because the whole time, not once did I ever care to like just simply ask him what his first name was. Like, I literally did not care. I didn't care that much. So it was just, I'm just steady calling this man Jody because I'm thinking that's, that's good enough. That's what he gonna answer to. Because, some people, they be like real serious about their nickname. Honestly, when I was in high school, and even some of the time when I was in college, like, people would call me by a nickname so much that when they found out what my first name was, they would be shocked. And I'm like, I hope you didn't think that my mama named me this when I came out the womb. The date was so nice. It really was. It was so nice. And that's when like things got worse, because like we sitting at the table and he like trying to hold my hand across the table and like play footsie with me and stuff. And it's like, the day was going good. So it's like, I didn't want to ruin it. But deep down, I really wanted to go to the bathroom and throw up, because I'm sitting here in my mind like, dang, this man fine. I can't wait to marry him and have his kids. And the whole time, my kids gonna come out deformed because we related. Like, it hurts so bad. It still hurts to this day. Now, even telling this story, I feel weird because I've been describing him and calling him fine and everything. And it's like, I'm not gonna say that he ugly just because I done found out that we related, because he not ugly. I just can't have him because he my cousin. I was acting different. That's the word I'm gonna use. I was acting different while we were sitting at the table and everything. So like when he tried to touch my hand, I kept taking my hand away, and he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, oh no, my hand's sweaty. Like, just, I mean, my hands were sweaty, but I didn't want him to hold my hand because I was gonna throw up. And he was like, oh, I got you nervous. Y'all, I wanted to fall. I wanted to fall out. I just wanted to go into the bathroom and climb out the window and never come back. Like, that's how bad it was. I was like, it don't make no sense for me to keep acting like this. I might as well go ahead and just come clean, because I'm pretty sure the same way that I had to realize who he was, he has to realize who I am as well. Because we're cousins on like my dad's side, but it's like my paternal grandmother's side. So it's like, I don't see them folks often. I don't see them like, no, I don't see them like that. We would go to like the same church, but that was about it. We never just like, and I didn't even know that I was related to them until like years. Like, I had been knowing him for years in church and everything, and not once did I know that we were related until I ended up finding out that my dad and his dad are second cousins. So that's how that dynamic breaks down. When like after the past couple of times that he kept asking, like he noticed that something was wrong, and he kept asking me like what was wrong, and I just kept saying, oh no, like my hand's sweaty, or this is happening, that's happening. And then it got to the point where like we had been talking for so long that it was to the point where he could tell when I was like obviously bothered by something. So he asked me, he was like what's wrong with you? Like, you was fine all day, and then as soon as we go out together, for the first time, now you acting strange. Like what happened? What changed? What's going on? Talk to me. And I started crying. He started losing it. He was like, bro, what is going on? Like, why are you crying? Tell me. Like, he was getting worried. He was like, what's going on? Why are you crying? Like, let me know. You can talk to me. Like, what's wrong, bro? What's wrong? What's going on? So I ended up telling him, and I was like, we're not gonna be able to go on dates no more. And he looked like I had just broke his heart, and that made it worse. And I was like, we're not gonna be able to go on dates no more. And he was like, what? Why? And I'm still crying because, like, not only am I crying because I'm hurt, but I'm crying because, like, I actually have to say the words out loud. So, like, I'm sitting there crying, and I was like, I couldn't even get the words out. And so I was like, we're not gonna be able to like go on dates no more, and I can't talk to you like on the level that we were talking no more. And he was like, why not? You don't like me or something? And I started crying like a little bit more. I was like, no, like I do like you, and that's the problem. And he was like, so you can't date me because you like me? Like, he was like, are you scared? Like, I know about like the things that happened in your past, but I'm not gonna do that to you if that's what you're worried about. And it was so reassuring. And y'all, every time he was just being like the perfect gentleman, I would cry even harder because I'm just like, I'm sitting at the table bawling, like people looking over, not like crying out loud, but like I'm noticeably crying because like I'm sniffing, and I'm like wiping my nose with the little like dinner napkins and stuff like that. So like people that was sitting like around us, they could tell I was crying. And he just like, he was being so comforting, and he was like, come on, like tell me what the problem is. Like, if you think that I'm gonna be like, the people in your past, I'm not like them, and you know that, I wouldn't do nothing to hurt you. And at this point, like, I can't even talk no more because he just being so understanding, and he being so sweet, and he just being so compassionate. And knowing the information that I knew, I couldn't allow us to continue like doing what we was doing. Like, even though we hadn't done anything, I couldn't allow it to lead to that, because I promise y'all, if he had put it under Jody and not his actual first name, I probably would have never known, and I would have smashed him that night. And I don't even want to think about what would have happened. Like, every time I think about it, it just makes me mad, because it's like, I do know. So now I know that the man of my dreams is my damn cousin. But then it's like, it's also like, if I didn't know, I would have slept with my cousin. So I'm like real conflicted. And that's also like adding on to like me crying and everything, because I've been crying. I've been sitting at the table crying for like 5 minutes. And he's still trying to reassure me that like everything is fine. He's not gonna do nothing to hurt me. I'm good. Like, he just want to know why I'm crying. And every time he's being the perfect gentleman, I just start crying even harder. Like, I can't even build up the courage to, I'm already hurt, and I can't even build up the courage to hurt him too. So I told him, I was like, let me go to the bathroom and like gather myself real quick. And he like, okay, cool. Just when you come back, we'll talk about it. And I'm just like, okay. I went in the bathroom and I cried some more. And then when I was good enough, like, y'all might be like, girl, you are being so dramatic. I am being dramatic, but at the same time, okay, that's not gonna work. I am being dramatic. I'm being dramatic about it now. I mean, it wasn't dramatic back then, because imagine, like, I was catching feelings for him. So like, imagine catching feelings for somebody over the span of like between like 3 and 6 months. And just imagine like your whole world falling apart because you done found out that y'all are related. And now all of the dreams that you had with this person, all of the conversations that y'all done had with each other about, you know, y'all's future, and now you can't even do that because y'all related. Like, I don't care if you think I'm being dramatic, because y'all, I was really hurt. I really was. Like, when I say I was crying, I was really crying. Like, I don't know what other way to say it. I was really hurt. But I collected myself in the bathroom before I went back out there. And then I was fine and everything. And I sat back down at the table. And he was like, are you ready to tell me what's wrong? And I was like, unfortunately, yeah. And I don't know how you're going to take this. And he was like, all right, lay it on me. What's up? And so I ended up telling him, like, basically what I just told y'all. And that was just, I'm not gonna lie, we were both pretty heartbroken, because it's like, we never knew. And it was bad. Like, it was so bad, because even after I told him, he was like, I can't believe it was too good to be true. And I could tell that, like, he was hurt, and him being hurt made it even worse, because it's like, we both sitting there hurting together, and it felt like we was breaking up, and we wasn't even together. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, I really felt like I had to gather myself to come back to the table and break up with him. It was so crazy. Like, it was literally like something that would happen in a movie. And I swear to God, if I see a movie about this situation, I'm whooping somebody's ass. Don't be making movies out of my pain, okay? At least cut me a piece of the check if you're gonna do it. But after I told him, like, we finished the date because we were already there, but we didn't, like, of course, we had to stop, like, talking about certain things, and we just had to keep it, like, on a friendly level. But it's not like we didn't have anything to talk about, because, again, the first time we actually had, like, a meaningful conversation, it was about, like, religion or politics or whatever the hell we was talking about. So we still had, like, a pretty good conversation, like, while we were sitting at the table. Like, nothing was wrong. Everything was cool. It's just the fact that, like, we both found out the terrible terrible news, and it was just nothing that we could do about it. And we finished the date. After everything was over, he told me good night. He hugged me. We didn't kiss or nothing. He gave me like a very the hug wasn't inappropriate, but it was like, it was like the way that he gave me the hug, it was understood during that hug that we would never speak again. And not me getting emotional behind my cousin, girl, but it was understood after that like we wouldn't speak again. And so I texted him and let him know I made it home, and he was like, okay, good, enjoy the rest of your night, sleep tight, like that type of stuff. And I cried so bad, like I cried myself to sleep. And the crazy part is, like, as much as we would hang out and go out and everything like that, like literally after this incident happened, I have not actually like seen him with my own two eyes since that date. Like, I don't even know if this man still exists. Like, that's how crazy it is. Like, it's like he dropped off the face of the planet. I have not seen him. I mean, well, granted, I live in another city, but I haven't seen like anybody like interacting with him. I mean, him and I think that was on like my previous account, and your girl had got suspended or whatever, so I had to make a new account. But like, I didn't follow him from the new account, and we weren't following each other. And I mean, I don't see people retweeting him. I don't see anything. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming he's okay, but I don't see anybody talk about him, reference him, nothing. It's strange. It's like he really just dropped off the face of the earth after that. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but what if he blocked me? Which is strange, because like, damn, we family. What if he blocked me because like he got married or something? If that's the case, keep me blocked. Y'all know how like on movies, when it's the last time you're gonna see somebody and they walking off, like they kind of just like fade away? I kid you not, that's what happened. And I know what y'all thinking in y'all mind. Y'all was talking for 4 months and you never found out his first name until y'all went on a date. Like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, we were talking about other stuff. We were not talking about names. We'll find out names at the altar. That's the type of time we was on. I'm not even trying to be funny, but I really pray that nobody has to go through that much pain. Like, this sounds dramatic, but I'm being so for real. Like, imagine how painful that was for me to find out that the man of my dreams, on our first date, I'm finding out that the man of my dreams is my cousin. That's the end of the video. My camera's about to die. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in Thursday's video.